let's just kind of jump on in. It's just after 10:30 on Wednesday. Hope everyone's having a great day. The point of today is we're just going to do a quick, brief update about where we are as a company, about what's going on and everything like that. And then also, a lot of you guys wrote in with some questions. So be answering some questions, everything from some personal stuff to some work-related stuff and what we got going on now. So brief update, the Littlefield company, we are still rocking and rolling the best we can. I think we are in a space of life and where we are right now with COVID-19 coming through, it's the collective feeling is uncertainty across the board. And what we're focused on is just bringing a little certainty into the lives of our guys, but also like the people we support and everybody else out there. So that's kind of what we're focused on right now. We've been doing everything from some goofier, funny, silly entertainment content with me reading. And I know that's for the people who out there who don't really, or who know me really well, know that that's just out of my world. I don't read a lot of books. And I definitely refer books to people after reading about a third of them, if not a couple chapters, because I feel like I pick something up and then actually just go start executing on that. And I just move on. So it's pretty funny when somebody goes like, yeah, I read the book, but like the ending was so good and I've never read it. A couple other things is we've been working on challenging our team to come up with some unique content to keep creativity going, conversation flowing. And I think last week was a really cool concept where we had our 4 guys all create videos from just using their iPhone. Nothing else, no lighting, no professional camera equipment. It's just their iPhones. And then the idea around isolation. I think everyone is dealing with that right now in their own way. You know, for me, like my yard is 5 phases ahead of what it should be right now with just the amount of time I have in my hands. But I know that's one of the questions later, so we'll get into that. But yeah, this week we're playing with stock content. It's something where now going through a lot of stock websites, we decided to curate a list of clips that guys can use, and they have to tell a story within that. So the stuff coming out so far, we're 2 of 4 in right now, and they're great. I think it's really interesting to go through those stock websites and see so many clips that are used on like national commercials or campaigns. And it's really unique to see what we're doing, how the guys are taking that challenge, but then also like how large scale companies are just pulling stock content to create storylines and connections. So that's what's coming up this week. Next week's gonna be a really fun one. I'm super excited about that. We'll get into that next week. We'll leave that as a bit of surprise. And Duncan Reads is coming back next week. That's going to be a fun one. Again, we're going to throw a little bit of a twist into it next week. So stay tuned for that. So other than that, we're just supporting our partners the best we can. We are really diving in to create creative conversations, creative solutions around how we can actually help people during this time, and especially working remotely. For the fact that we're committing to not picking up cameras, not being in people's homes or people's jobs or work. It's we are following the stay-at-home order. I know in our space, you look at media and marketing. Media is an essential part of business right now, so we could technically travel, but we're picking safety over everything else. So I'm really proud of my team that we're honoring that and we're committing to that as a team. So super excited about that. The one thing I forgot to do early was introduce the coffee mug from today. It is Lito's Kitchen and Pie Shop from the Big Island in Hawaii. Great pies, phenomenal pies, but great sandwiches across the board. If you're ever in the Big Island, this is the spot. It's right off the side of the road, phenomenal. So big shout out to Enderley Coffee as well. They have been my coffee of choice while being home, and super excited. All right, so a couple quick questions going through this. First question out the gate is, who do you follow for inspiration? And that's a great question because, a couple of years ago, 2-3 years ago, if you asked me that question, it would have been very different. The people who would have come up were mainly creators and photographers, videographers, and, the likes of Chris Burkhardt is just, he's the guy, and I've been very fortunate to spend some time with him and talk with him and pick his brain a little bit. But, just a world-class human being. I can't speak highly enough, but the stuff that he's creating is just great. It's phenomenal. So, but as we've shifted, as my role as the company shifted, as we've evolved, I find myself being more drawn to entrepreneurs and business owners and leaders in their industry. Bill and Melinda Gates are just an inspiration for me. I absolutely love Bill's documentary on Netflix. I think they did a great job with it. Gave you a little bit of insight to what he's working, how his brain operates, and I just think they did a phenomenal job. But Bill and Melinda Gates are definitely two people I follow for everything from inspiration or advice, or just see what they're doing in their world. Gary Vaynerchuk is an absolute inspiration for me. What he's doing, how he talks about it, the positivity that brings to the world, and the amount of people that he's helping is remarkable. I truly believe that he will be one of the most powerful people in the world during this time, during this era, and I'm excited to see him keep pushing the envelope and keep evolving, not only VaynerX, but his own personal brand. Mark Cuban, Jeff Bezos are a couple other guys that come to mind. Mark Cuban has been super impactful on me during this time, especially navigating loans and options and ideas and like the way to look at some business strategies during this time so I've leaned on him. I've followed him, and definitely he's a great guy to follow. I mean, obviously he's built a great empire, so I think he's a great guy. The other couple ones that I want to bring up is, we talked about this yesterday in a creative meeting, is that Netflix created a docuseries called Abstract, and the four episodes that I absolutely resonate with from an inspiration and everything at top to board was Tinker Hatfield, Christopher the Illustrator from season 1, the Architect from season 1, I think his name was like Bjork, and then Ian, who was the graphic designer who redesigned the Instagram logo. Those four were exceptional. I think just the way they looked at things, the way they saw things, it was so fun to kind of be inside. And I was never a real big shoe guy, until I watched Tinker's episode, and then I started picking up a lot more details and just fell in love with shoes. I've always been a Nike guy, but that episode kind of gave me a much broader sense of what the shoe game is, or what the shoe industry is, and the culture, and I was way more attached to it. So those are a few people and a few inspirations I have right now. Next question. Can you share who Dave Newell is and the work he's done to help the Littlefield company move forward? I've been very fortunate. I got introduced to Dave Newell probably 2 years ago now. And so it was very early on in the company. And what he does is he supports people grow. And whatever that goal is he is a unbelievable, unique talent of asking the right question at the right time, even when it's hard, or even when it's not like the quote unquote typical question. He is so good at listening and coaching people on where they want to go, realistic goals. I mean, it's top to bottom. He is the company wouldn't be where we are today without him. No question about it. He has been a absolute support to me, as well as the rest of the guys on my roster. He's a special guy to our team, and we're very fortunate to have him. He is a big part of, organizing for us culture, and he's a big part of organizing really how we speak and how we talk to each other. It's been a great partnership for him and I, and now the leadership team, to come together and talk about how we're feeling, or how we need to speak about things. And we're a company that doesn't do a ton of self-promotion, and just because it doesn't feel like us, it doesn't feel right. We stopped taking logos off end of videos 3 months into the company just because it didn't feel right. We haven't added one of our logos at the back of a video in 2 years, over 2 years. And that's something that we wanted to bring up, and we wanted to talk through, and he's been the one who's kind of organized our thoughts. And especially if you guys know me, my head's 34,000 different directions at one time, and he's very good at kind of focusing me in, getting that tunnel vision, and really pulling out what matters. And so yeah, Dave, if you're watching, thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you, buddy. So thank you. Integral part of the team. Next question is, what is our philosophy when purchasing gear, and how do we go about making decisions about what we need? That's a great question. We are, as an individual, I'm a big believer in investment, and I love sweat equity. But now with a growing team, a lot more projects, higher quality, everything attached, it's been a unique challenge, or it's been a unique conversation, because I was not a videographer 3 years ago. And so even 10 years ago. So I did the research into see how camera technology changed before I started. And it was pretty slow. It was pretty, regular, which is year after year, like, a couple things got released. But in the last 2 years, it has been an exceptional growth in technology and cameras. So to keep up with the technology, to keep up with what it's doing, as well as continue to push the boundaries for what the team can do, it's like we have to invest into it. If we hold people back with what the camera can do because of an idea, then like we're not serving them. We're not serving our team. We're not serving our people. So it's been a very unique conversation, and it's been very open conversation through our entire team. It's always something that we look at going, hey, like, are we going to use it regularly? How are we going to use it? Will it make us more efficient? As well as like potentially will it make us money in the long run? If it's a rental or if it's an opportunity to go someplace with it or showcase it, it's always been a conversation. And I think we've made some great decisions. We have gear that will be used for a long, long time, and gear that we haven't really grown out of much, even though we have 10 cameras, if not more, sitting at the shop right now, just kind of waiting to be used right now. But we're waiting to get back. It's super exciting. Before all this, we made a good investment into a pair of C500s, which is a great camera for us. And we really haven't used them much. We've used them on a couple projects, but we were really expecting to really run and gun with them right now. And we're looking forward to getting back to putting those in our hands. So next question is, what is one camera hack everyone should know and potentially in Photoshop? I could go on for half an hour to an hour of this. To speak Photoshop, there's two things that I really like. One is like I live in the spot healing and the patch tool. That is great for anything from skin blemishes to taking small pieces out to, if you crop a photo in and you need to cut like a leaf out of a tree, like you can take it right out. It's super easy. Spot healing and patch are your best friends in Photoshop, especially as a photographer, in my opinion. The other one that is a little more, maybe people know about it, I don't know, but removing like if you look at big landscape photos from photographers, and you always wonder, like, they're in a busy street or they're in a busy place or it's on a hike, like how do photographers get people out of that photo, or like tourists or whatever? And the biggest thing, you could use spot healing, like you could kind of work your way through it. It'll get a little blurry, but the goal of it is if you take a bunch of photos, say for example, it is the Eiffel Tower, sit there for 10, 20 minutes and just take a bunch of photos. Wait for people to go in and out. Then at that point, you bring all those photos into Photoshop. I think it's File, Scripts, Statistics, and then Median. And then from there, it'll take all the photos and aggregate it and put it into one photo and pick the spots that people are not in. And if you shoot handheld and don't use a tripod's going to be the preferred way to do it. But if you shoot on handheld, use auto align, and it's going to be pretty close. But if not, then just literally patch tool things in, and it's a great fun tool. Play with it. It takes a little bit to get used to, but I think that's a great one. Then when it comes to actual camera tips or tricks or hacks, Peter McKinnon actually just posted a video, maybe it was a month or two ago now, and I didn't know this, but this is something I'm going to put in my toolbox and I really like. But the bottom of your camera for the tripod mount is the same width or is the same size as a lamp. So he says, like, if you don't have a tripod and you need something like that, find a lamp, especially for a small DSLR. I wouldn't probably put a big cinema camera on there just because of the weight, but a small DSLR, it should screw right into an average lamp, and I think that's pretty exceptional. Take the lampshade off and then stick it on. And I'm going to try it. I haven't done it yet. I haven't been in the scenario where I haven't either forgot a tripod or anything like that or needed one. So, but definitely try that one. The other one I kind of have always kind of played with is that I've always liked to use the flashlight on the iPhone to potentially like create flares in the lens. So if you drop it right on the other side of the lens, from there, move it around, you can create some really unique positions or lighting, especially with the flare side of things. If you're focused on a product, that you can bring it in, maybe not so much people or but definitely product photography, you can play with that super easily. So I think that's one of those ones. The next question, what will be the first restaurant you visit when it is safe to return in public? I've been out there and said that my favorite restaurant in Charlotte, North Carolina is Lang Van. I stand behind that. We've done takeout from there, but I am very excited to sit in the green booths and actually go see the people who are there, because they are just some of the best people in Charlotte. I'm telling you what, it is a family atmosphere. It is unbelievable. Like, you go in and everyone knows your name, and it's amazing. So Lang Van is the first place I'm going to when I can sit down in public for a meal. Next question will be, who on the team has the best quarantine style? That's a great question. I think, it's interesting. This morning on our morning call, Miller showed up in jacket and tie. I think that was a good one. We haven't seen that one yet. We've seen some button downs, but we've seen a lot of hoodies, a lot of hats. I mean, that's just pretty standard across the board. But Miller got a nod this morning for going jacket and tie, and I almost want to put that out for the rest of the team to see if anybody can up it for tomorrow or the next week's calls. And Miller got a good one today. I know he's wearing sweatpants tucked in, so that's a bonus. I'll give him credit there. But I think Kane has done a great job with really committing to the mustache. He is really leaning into it. He spent a lot of time on it this morning. Shout out to him for a good stash. That's solid. But across the board, we've had good style. It's been a lot of hoodies and hats, but that's kind of our dress code anyway. Is comfortable. Look good, feel good, and go to work. So it's been good. What is your next project in the yard? That's funny. My wife Susanna is seeing how I operate on a different level with how fast I'm attacking our house and our home projects. We had kind of an 8-phase plan of what we're going to do and when, and we broke it out over, a little while, bumping out the master bedroom and building an extra room on there. That was supposed to be in a couple of years. And there's a potential that that might happen sooner than expected. But, in the time we've built the gym we wanted, dug out the fire pit, built that, laid 4 tons of gravel over the fire pit. So it's a big fire pit. It's great. This week, fences are going up on the sides of our house, which we've been talking about for a while. And then we are going to start construction on a second building, a small building in the back that will be my office with a shed on the other side. But my office can be turned into a guest house. So that'll be great for entertaining, but also if we do have guests who just kind of want their own space. And it's even funny, I know Jamie on our team has talked about how he wants to rent it and just be great neighbors. And so maybe there's an opportunity for rental in there too. So that's gonna be the next project. I'm super excited about that. Been wanting that, been talking about it ever since I bought the house less than a year ago. That's been the goal of it. So excited about that, but it's funny to see that already kind of potentially coming to life and coming to happen. So that's the next yard project. So fences this week, and then let's build the office and the shed. So, well, guys, that's all the questions I have. I want to wrap up today with just kind of a thought, and something that I've instilled into my team is that during this time, I think we just need to have a good outlook on expectation as well as perspective. Right now, we're very fortunate as a team to not have anybody be sick, not have any loved ones or anyone we know be affected by coronavirus. And that's the most important part. With all of the financial turmoil that's happening because of a health crisis, this is not a financial crisis. This is not a decision or not bad decisions that anyone's made. It's just something that we can't control. And it's something that it is a health crisis that's affecting the entire world. And if we have that perspective and we have, we're really healthy, we're really fortunate, we're really grateful right now. And, quarantine's hard. It's definitely different Skype calling everybody and FaceTiming and everything like that. I wish I could walk into the office every day and drink coffee with the guys and go to work. But, at the end of the day, we're going to talk about this for a long time, and it's our responsibility to stay safe. It's our responsibility to be supportive of the people around us and, respect and flatten the curve. So I know humility is a powerful thing. And right now, we're putting that perspective and just taking micro goals, we're setting micro goals, taking micro wins, and kind of living in a meal to meal environment. It's something where we talked about, we set goals as a company for 40 years, 10 years, 5 years, but also we set daily goals, weekly goals. And we're kind of changing that. We've decided to set like meal to meal goals where it's like, hey, this morning I'm going to get this done. Between lunch and dinner, I'm going to get this done. So it gets focus back into routine. And with perspective of that we're all healthy and safe, it definitely helps. So guys, I want to close today with that thought of just, look at the perspective of life right now. I wish you, your family, businesses, all the above, the best. Please be safe. And from there, we'll check in next quarantine cam. If not, follow along with everything we're doing on social. Next week's going to be a fun. Duncan Reads is going to come back in a fun way. The challenges this week are great. Follow along with the creative team there. So guys, I wish you the best. Please be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. See you guys.